Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
And welcome to the BM Show. We're going to be talking about game series that we should like, but we just can't get into. All right. And this is not really Adam Sandler. This is more like I'm doing one of the characters from Family Guy.
But we do have we have a video game character with us. So if you want to say it. Kimari never watch BM show. Kimari only have eyes for Yuna. So I kind of want to jump in here and say this is going to be an awesome show.
Oh, yeah.
2 channels, 1 show.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Like Captain Planet. The power is yours. So, is it LOCLOUDANE?
Yeah. So channel's called LOCLOUDANE. It's just a mixture of 3 Final Fantasy characters. It's Lock, Cloud, and Zidane mixed together. And I was knee deep in this before I could change that, so that's what we got. but no, my real name's Chandler. And I'm happy for you guys to call me Chandler.
All right. Well, welcome to the BM Show, Chandler. Hopefully, you have a good time here. I'm hoping this is going to be a good show. I think it's going to be. We got a lot of excitement going on here.
Yeah.
I'm not used to opening the show. It's usually Mike's.
Well, I figured tonight, last time I stumbled over the name of the channel, even though I watch it, I stumbled over the name of the channel. So I figured I'd give it to you this time to fail.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully I lived up to your expectations.
You know what? Let's do it again. I want to see you fail harder.
Yes, please.
LOCLOUDANE. It sounds French.
That's the French one.
Yeah, the French one. That's a competing channel. We don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, don't bring that up.
So why don't we, Chandler, if you want to take a few moments, talk about what you do on your channel.
Yeah, for sure. So I actually have a longer history with YouTube that a lot of people aren't aware of. Is I actually had 2 channels before this one. Both of them got about to where I'm at now, like I'd say about 20K subscribers. So I actually covered anime. Like I did remember like old YouTube where AMVs were like the thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this, but there was like this Naruto AMV to like Link or Sum 41. It was like a Sum 41 song. And you can look it up. It has like millions and millions of views. But anyway, I thought that was really cool. I liked music, and then I liked anime back then. I'm not like I don't really watch it anymore. I still like it, but I don't watch it anymore. It's big time sink. But yeah, so I had these 2 channels, both of them torn down for copyright. Very devastating.
I bet I had the same thing happen to one of my channels, but go on.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely YouTube is a bit kinder now than it was back then. But yeah, it was the 3 strike system, and it just like you 3 strikes and you're just like they send a hitman to your house.
I had a channel. I called it Public Domain Theater, and I did my research to find movies that were in the public domain. But apparently, my research only covered U.S. public domain, and Japanese companies do take this very seriously.
Yes. Oh. So I'm assuming if you're saying that after 3 strikes they send a hitman to your house, and you were covering anime, you were haunted by Gogo 13.
Yes,
I was what?
Gogo 13.
Gogo 13. That's an old reference. Wow, that's the NES, man.
Gogo 13. He's anime. He
for game long run. So I know it from. Yeah, he did an NES game.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on this one.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wait, what is it called?
Gogo 13. Oh man. This is why Meaden was nice enough to do screen sharing, because in a second you're gonna be like, okay, I know who you're talking about now, and if you don't, you're probably going to want to go hunting and find out.
Honestly, I'm blown away. Like it is rarely I get tripped up on references. Like I am like an encyclopedia of useful information. So this is very surprising.
There you go. There's Gogo 13. You got to know that guy. It did not share. Is not sharing my screen.
Oh, it is. You know it?
Okay. I can't see my screen sharing.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Oh, there.
Oh, you see it? Okay.
It's pulling up. It's just slow on my end. 2 seconds here. So Gogo 13. Well, it's pulling up. I had these 2 channels torn down. But when I had the second one, I decided because I also love video games. You know, I started a video game channel, but I was just throwing up like trailers for stuff and things like that. Wasn't taking it too seriously. Then the second channel got torn down. Took like a year break because I was just pissed off, and came back and decided to do video games because it's so much safer as far as, you know, copyright strikes and things like that. But yeah, I was kind of like, I didn't know which direction I was taking the channel, and then one day I was playing. I think it was just one of the Final Fantasies. I can't remember which one. Maybe Final Fantasy 9. And I was like, man, I wish there was a YouTube channel that had like videos that were 5 to 10 minutes long that just told me what all the best and worst characters are. That would be really interesting content. Like I'd watch that. And I was searching and I could not find you'd maybe find some things, but it was like an hour long. It's just this guy talking. Well, he had the website, the tier list website that where you can make like the tiers. It is usually that stuff. And I was like, man, like no one's making this stuff. Like I just want something. Fine, I'll make it myself. So I started just putting together tier lists for video games, mainly RPGs, but I've done a lot of different video games. And it where it kind of took off was I did a tier list of the weapons in Nier Automata. Are either of you familiar with that game?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Great. It's an absolute masterpiece. And yeah, I had just beaten it, and I thought, wow, what an amazing game. Like, I wonder if I used the best weapons. And so I started researching, and it's, you know, just snowballed into this giant document I was compiling on my computer. I threw that video up, and it was kind of my first viral moment with that channel. I think the video is now at something like maybe 800,000 views right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is history. And I pretty much compile tier lists. I put together, as you mentioned before in your previous episode, you know, I do top 10s, and I did top 10 most broken RPG characters, and I made a plethora of those that I ended up combining into one video, which is top 100 most broken RPG characters. So now I'm the idiot that has an hour-long video up on his channel. So, but yeah, and my goal now is to slowly train my audience to enjoy video essays on video games, because it's definitely a passion of mine. I love covering niche topics. I did one recently on Americana in Japanese video games. It's just a fascinating topic, like how Japanese people portray Americans in their media is just it's amazing. So
Are you a fan of the Gaming Historian?
yeah, I've seen some of the stuff.
Yeah, he does excellent essay videos, and it's like one of them is like over an hour and a half long, and it's like he does like 2 videos a year because of all the research and stuff he throws.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah, my new obsession is I beat a video game. He does fantastic work. Where he goes through and beats every game in the series, and then talks about it afterwards. He did one on like Castlevania that I've been watching, or I finished a video game. Sorry, I finished a video game, and just I mean, just masterful work. So that's my goal. I've been making smaller video essays. I'm working on one for the Shantae series. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yep.
Hmm.
Definitely. Yep.
Made by Way Forward. I'm going through. I'm beating every game in that series, and then writing up kind of. I'm slow feeding the different different parts to my Patreon, and then I'll eventually release the full video on my channel. So, yeah, but that's me.
So I got a question, because I found your channel through the broken characters, and we've already talked about the comment that I left. And that's basically how we kind of got in contact initially, and then, you know, the last show we did this, that's how you ended up on here. But you're now at the top 100 broken characters. I'm curious, those broken characters, do you yourself usually find the way that they're broken, or is that something that you like research? Or is it like people's comments that normally show you, you know, this is a broken character, then you look into it? How do you determine like who should be on the list, and how do you find them exactly?
Yeah, great question. So when compiling that, it's a mix of both. I have at this point, you know, 20 years of RPG experience. I'm like an Excel sheet, like maniac, you know, like serial killer level of Excel sheet stuff. And I've kept an Excel sheet of every single video game I've ever beaten with all my thoughts. It's massive, but
Mhm.
but obviously I don't have experience in everything, and so it's a mix of both. I love research. You know, it's always been a huge part of pretty much everything I'm doing, from my career to all my hobbies. I heavily research things. But you know, speaking of your comment, you know, you brought up Child of Light.
Yeah.
I have here on my shelf. I've never played it. And you're a good example of kind of that alternative area where I get things, is that I'll put out a top 10, and you know, it's surprising how many people will comment about different stuff. Sometimes I know, you know, I remember I get people commenting about Xenogears characters all the time, and I was kind of in the back of my mind kind of saving Cyan from Xenogears for a while and stuff like that. But then yours, I'm like, Child of Light, like I don't know anything about that game, and so
Yeah.
I started. I didn't go through and beat it. What I did was, you know, I started looking at reading forums on the game. Uh, Always go to forums. I read comments about like, so I'll go and watch guides and strategies on YouTube, but where the real information is in the comment section. You go
Yeah.
where someone will be like, I did, you know, 100,000 HP single hit boss run, you know, or something like that. And I'll go in, and obviously the video is really impressive. But then you go to the comments, and people are like, if you equip this item and do this, then you'll double that, and da 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 da. And so, and my process is that I'll write up what I know, and then I'll go and actually just copy comments from forums and from YouTube and everything like that, and I'll make like a master document. And then once I have that master document done, then I take a second document where I build my structure. So I'm like, okay, what is the tier here? Like, who are the worst characters? Who are the best? And then I use that first document to kind of create like a summary, you know, of each character, because the goal is to take a lot of information and try to compile it into not just a shorter format, but also an entertaining one. Like, I want people to watch my stuff, you know, obviously because it's educational, because they're interested in the topic, but also I really would like people just to enjoy my videos. You know, you can watch them even if you don't know RPGs, but yeah, and then from there it's writing up the script. So that's kind of the process.
Gotcha. Okay.
You,
Well,
do you do your own editing?
Yeah, it's solo shop here, my friend.
Are you with Adobe, or are you doing DaVinci? What do you use?
I have a secret I've never shared before. I have never used anything other than iMovie.
Really?
Yeah. I have not paid. I have like this secret dream. Like one day when I'm like 99 years old on my deathbed, maybe I'll be at like 1 million subscribers and I'll be like, guess what? I did all this with free software.
Yes.
And you heard it here first, people.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Because that I actually work as an editor, so like I never thought about using free software because I just like it's one of those things like why would I use free software?
Right.
Are running your old channel on?
I think like I would love to get to a place where I hired like a full-time editor. That would be amazing. My my least favorite thing, which is what I was doing right before we jumped on here, is editing down my like audio.
Mm.
Oh gosh, just the most mind-numbing boring, and I'm like listening to my dumb voice the whole time. It's like,
Oh yeah, this is my second podcast, but I do another one too, and I don't edit that one anymore, but I used to, and
Yeah.
it's a Bible podcast, and I'm one of the dumbest guys in the room there. I used to edit out every stupid question. There was a lot. Every stupid question or comment that I ever had on that show, I edited them all out. And also, you listen back on the show, I'm not even on it.
yeah.
I'm completely gone. And I'm like, oh, what did I say that? All right, well, I have control over this. Let me take it out. And you become neurotic, though. And I'm like, I'm so glad I don't edit it anymore. I'm like, you know what? I said something stupid. It's going to live. It's going to live on. I don't control it anymore. I don't even listen to it either.
It's immortalized, like just go with it. My biggest problem, and if you watch any of my videos, go watch any video I make, scroll down to the comments. One of the top like 3 or 4 liked is, hey, look, you said this wrong. Like I try so hard, and I don't know what my problem is, but I cannot seem to say things correctly, especially names.
There's a guy, he does these videos where he shows like, here's a website that you have to know, and he shows you this website, and every one of the videos he always mispronounces one of the words. And somebody interviewed him about it, and he said, why do you always mispronounce one of the words? He's like, because it's guaranteed if somebody's going to leave a comment about it.
Yeah, it boosts engagement. I mean, honestly, people think I do it on purpose. Like I've gotten accusations about that all the time, and I wish I was that smart, but I'm just dumb. Like,
I go and I take credit for it with like, oh, you said this wrong. I'm like, yeah, that's so you can leave a comment. Ha ha.
it's all a marketing point. Don't worry about it. You'll understand when you're older.
All right, I wanted to get back to a gaming here for a second. I first want to toss at you here, Chandler. Going back to broken characters, I do have your unofficial entry number 101 and 102 that I'd love to mention to you.
Please.
Okay, why don't we go ahead and do that right now? They actually come from the same game. And I want to point out before I show them, since they're coming from the same game, this is not my favorite game in the series. This is actually one I would call mediocre at best. But everybody knows it, so you recognize it. So hopefully this will share immediately. So I'm going to start with entry number 101. And that would be this guy right here, if you can see it.
That's mine. Oh, here it is. Oh, I see it.
From Final Fantasy VI, Setzer.
Okay, yeah.
Setzer is, on the outside, when you look at him, is a very weak character. His slots are luck-based, and mostly you're just going to be healing yourself for pennies because you won't get anything that matches up. However, what makes him broken? 3 items, and they're actually pretty easy to get. 1, you can get easily with the Moogle Charm. 2, you get going through a castle it's on the way. And the 3rd is so basic, you have in your inventory. And I've mentioned this to so many people, and everyone brushes this off because they don't think about it. The first item that breaks them, the fixed dice. because his attacks with dice are luck based. They're not based off of any stats. So once he has the fixed dice, no matter what level he is going to be dropping high numbers. Now it is random, so he could be dropping just hundreds. He can hit 9999 easy with them. Usually averages in the 5,000 to 6,000. So you can be doing that when he's at like, I don't know, level 10 or 15. The next item, now we're going to the relics. Depending on what version you're playing, whether it's a Super NES or the more recent Pixel remasters, the Master Scroll, or in the Super NES version, the Offering, which is a relic that lets you attack random enemies for 4 attacks each turn, which means now you're rolling those 4 attacks non-stat based on the whole enemy party. And the system knows when something is dead to not attack it again. So you can wipe out the party super easy that way. The third item that breaks them, and this is one that nobody thinks about, and it's so standard, you probably have about 20 of these in your inventory by the time you get the other 2. The black belt, which will let you randomly counterattack whenever he's attacked. So that means at this point now, you don't have to press any buttons ever with him in your party. You just let him get hit. He rolls the dice, wipes out the whole enemies. The only thing you have to worry about are boosting his hit points, boosting his defense, which most characters are going to need things like strength or magic boosted. So he's free to use the espers that are going to boost those things that aren't as necessary.
So it's funny that you bring that up. So I'm currently going through and re-rating all the Final Fantasies, but I'm doing like a fresh playthrough, and I'm actually like taking all the research that I've done over the years and applying it. The 2 tier lists that I regret. No, I wouldn't say regret. The 2 tier lists I watched, I'm like, ugh. Yeah. Is Final Fantasy 9 and Final Fantasy 6. I made Final Fantasy 6. I was just looking up almost 6 years ago. I did a tier list of it. And it's funny you say that. You if you scroll through the comments on that, everyone is like, Setzer, fixed dice, break this title, stuff like that. I'm like,
yeah, the fixed dice break it, but when you add the Offering and the black belt in there, it's just stupid how much damage he does.
I don't know if I've heard the black belt one, but the Offering is part of that too. Like the fixed dice strategy is kind of what they call it. But so I'm going through. I'm actually like playing with my kids. We're almost done with Final Fantasy 9. I'm gonna redo the tier list for that, and then the next one we're doing is 6. And believe me, Setzer is right up there on top of the list. But you said the second character is also in Final Fantasy 6.
Second character is also Final Fantasy 6. Let me bring that one up. That would be this guy right here. Strago. Strago is super broken because he is basically set as a magic user. And of course, magic, especially with Ultima, is overpowered.
Yeah.
But Strago is also the blue mage, meaning obviously he has access to more magic spells. He's broken because of one spell and one item. The spell is one of the blue mage spells, which is Traveler, which is pretty easy to get. Traveler, if you don't know, the more distance you walk on the map, the more damage he's going to do with the spell. But it has a downside. The downside is the more distance you walk, the more damage you do, the more the spell is going to cost in magic points to cast. However, the one item that breaks this is, depending on the version you're using, the Celestred, or if you're using the Super NES, the Economizer, which will make every magic spell cost 1 magic point to cast. And they're actually really easy to get in the arena using Go-Go, stealing them from a specific enemy. So you can actually just walk around. You could throw a Mog in your party with a Mule Charm, walk around for however long you want, getting no encounters, walking the distance of the map, powering up the spell, throw that item on him, it's always going to cost 1 magic point to cast.
Let me ask you this: so a little bit of investment heavy strategy up front, right? Is would you say that Strago beats out Gao's broken kind of broken strats using what's his mechanic called? The
Rage.
rage strat with Gao. Like which one would you say is more broken?
Well, judging that I absolutely despise Gao in every single way. No, I know Gao is if you put the investment in it, he is severely broken as well too. Especially with what is Stray Cat, I think. But what's funny is I usually use, I think it's Bomb and Blaze with him. But for me with Gao, I don't even go that route. I usually just throw Celestred on him as well too, and boost his magic, and then just make him 100% Ultima caster. Because honestly, when you really get down to it, Ultima is what breaks the game.
Yeah, I mean, all these other strategies are awesome and stuff, but yeah, I mean, Magic devastate, and that's that was the theme of the first tier list, is that like any character with a high Magic stat ultimately became the best character.
Yeah, true.
But no, that's super interesting. I'd be fascinated to hear your thoughts when I get this Final Fantasy VI tier list out.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely down to hear that one. So I do have another question for you here, because you mentioned that you have 20 years of experience with RPGs. What was the first RPG for you that basically got you into RPGs?
So, and I'm not making this up. My dad was a scoutmaster in California. I was too young to do scouts, but he'd take me along. I had this memory, and it just stuck with me. We went inside one of the kids' houses where we were all meeting. I'm like, I'm not. I know I'm not 8 yet, so I'm like 6, 7 years old. Walk in, and all the scouts are crowded around. Like one of those. This is a beautiful image. Like this old box TV with the Super Nintendo on the floor. They're all sitting there crowded. And there's this scene of all these little characters lined up in front of this like monstrous looking kind of creature, and all the characters are so unique. You have some look human, some are creatures, and I had no idea what I was looking at the time, but it stuck with me. Later on, I went over to my cousin's house years later. At this point, I moved out of California. I'm living in Utah. Went to my cousin's house. My cousin's like filthy rich. He got like everything new as soon as it came out. One of those kids you want to punch in the face, So we go to his house, and he has the brand new Sony PlayStation, and he's playing this game, and it's an RPG, and one character's carrying a giant sword, and on his team he has a ninja and a vampire. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's a game called Final Fantasy VII, and I was just mind blown, just shattered. Because of that point, we had a Sega, and I mean, we didn't own an RPG. I had like Sonic games and stuff like that. But video games were kind of this thing you played for like 20 minutes. I mean, you turned off and went and run around outside. But
ready.
Yeah, sorry, that's my washing machine. I'm trying to close the door so it didn't happen, but
all good, man. But yeah, so my grandma had a PlayStation for the grandkids, and she lived nearby. And I was like, hey, Grandma, can I borrow this? She's like, yeah. And I never get back. Went to Costco, picked up Final Fantasy 7, played it, just enamored with it. Later on, we get the internet. I'm like, oh, what is the internet? And people are like, just search something. I was like, well, I like that Final Fantasy game. So I type it in. I see Final Fantasy 6, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the game I saw. So technically, it was Final Fantasy 6.
Ben, what was yours? I don't know if I know yours.
My first role playing game was Dragon Warrior.
Okay.
And that was the one I ended up buying it for full price, and then my cousin got it a week later for free with his subscription to Nintendo Power.
Mhm.
So fast.
I feel sad here because now I feel like the grandpa of the show.
Why would you play Adventure on Atari?
Well, actually, I did, but I can actually go back to Emon on Apple too. But if we're talking consoles, my first one was Ultima Exodus on NES.
Whoa.
Um, and and that's actually where I got into RPGs because I was really big into like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
So I was like, oh my, I can play Dungeons and Dragons on a console now. And I remember the days of watching my buddy play the first Final Fantasy on NES while I just kind of laid on the bed and just he played at it. Until finally about I think it was 6 months after it was out, I cracked and I went out and got Final Fantasy. But yeah, I was pretty much eating up all of the RPGs I could back in that day, and I'm still this is still one of my favorite genres.
I got Final Fantasy from my neighbor. So like I had this these people who lived next door, like this old guy who lived there was one of those old people who got into Nintendo. Like he was retired, he had nothing to do all day. So he would go out and actually he was really big into RPGs because it took forever to beat. That's what he wanted. And I went he had a yard sale like once a year where he would sell off the old games that he's done with. And I would just go there and just like I wasn't huge in the RPGs, but I did hear of Final Fantasy. Like you'd have to be living under a rock not to have heard of it. And I'm like, oh cool. This is the classic Final Fantasy. I'll have to play it. And to this day, it's the only Final Fantasy game I ever beat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I I have to say, as a latecomer to the genre, like I'm a cannot, but latecomer, but someone who just became absolutely absorbed in it. I have to say I'm jealous that you guys got to experience kind of the birth of an era. Like that's incredible. Try.
I see these retrospective videos, and I've only seen one of your videos, so I don't know how I can't judge yours. But as an old man now, watching these videos and hearing these quote unquote kids who are 20 something years old talk about stuff that I lived through, and they get the facts wrong, I am screaming at the TV.
I would say just don't be jealous because if I told you my story about Final Fantasy VI, it's not a pretty one. I loved 4. I played 6. I hated 6 when it was on Super NES. Mainly because of all of the I hate the Opera House. I'm just getting that right out right now. I absolutely despise the Opera House. I think it was the worst thing that could ever happen to a Final Fantasy game because I hate mini games and Final Fantasy games with a passion. I hate most of the characters in Final Fantasy 6. I'm sorry, I do hate Locke. I got to the point, and I hate that I'm using Street Fighter techniques in a Final Fantasy game. I got to the point where the world. Sorry.
Street Fighter techniques when he like pressing down toward.
There is a character that does a fireball move.
Oh, okay.
Or one of the specials. I got to the point where the world was destroyed, and I said, I'm done with this. But then my buddy liked it, and just like my other buddy I watched play Final Fantasy, I watched him play this. And it got to the point where I would tell him, please, just beat the game so I can rip this out of the Super NES and throw it across the room. Now, my mood has kind of changed on the game. And I think a lot of it is because of Setzer, because of what I found with Setzer. I actually started liking it because I like when I find those broken, overpowered characters. And I'm going
going out. We do. When your Mike and tactics, yeah, your tips section that we do on the show. Yeah. Wow, it's usually about one of these things that you've learned.
Yeah, it's fun to find that stuff that just breaks the game and then just abuse it.
Well, we're kindred spirits, my friend.
Yep.
I have built a small career out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I'm assuming do you make money off of YouTube or your Patreon?
A little bit of both. I say a small career. Obviously, like I'm not doing this full time. I absolutely wish I could, but no, I get ad revenue. I I implemented my Patreon just a year ago because I just felt like I didn't want to do it until I had something to offer. So now what I'm doing, my main schedule is that I release 2 public channel videos per month, and then I do a third one that's Patreon exclusive, and then it comes out about 4 months after release on
Oh,
on the main channel. So
yeah.
that's the
Because I'm like, I have like, I thought about that too. Like, we're not there yet, but when we get there, like, what would you offer? Could you offer? And I love the idea of like early access. But other than that, I don't really like the idea of saying, well, you got to be a member to get this exclusive content. I don't know if I'm a few, like, for a time, yes, time exclusive, that's fine. But I'm like, there's some people where unless you go and become a paid member, you never get to see some of these videos.
Yeah, I find that the majority of people who've been who went on my Patreon, they just like what I do and want to support me, which I think is really cool. I think the other thing too is like access. Like I'm on there chatting with them. You know, they're telling me about games they like and stuff, and we're kind of going back and forth. So I don't know. It's not like it's not my favorite practice, but I have to say that you know and you guys can appreciate this, I'm sure, but like my goal is to do this full time, and so I have to treat it like a business. I can't treat it like just a fun hobby. And so you look at best business practices and you make decisions. And but I agree with you. I wasn't a fan of gated content that you know people never see. So that's why it's essentially just early access.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of them where like it's a day early or a couple days early, or I talked about this one show OSW and their videos because they do wrestling. They get caught up in copyright hell sometimes, and
Yeah.
because you post your videos on for Patreon or they're on Vimeo, right? Is that what they use, or do they use YouTube?
Oh, I'm sorry.
For Patreon exclusive videos, do they go on Vimeo or what?
I post them both on YouTube and Patreon because I do the YouTube membership as well.
Oh, so Patreon has its own. So Patreon does have its own video thing. I thought that it had to be like you had to link it to something else. Okay. Well,
Yeah, they have like a date, like you have a set database that you can fill up. It's like I don't know, like terabyte. So you can throw up anything.
Okay. Okay. Well, so anyway, what they do is while their episode is like tied up in legal hell, you can, if you're a Patreon, you could actually go there and watch the uncensored version, I guess, before it gets censored for YouTube.
Yeah.
They have to recut it and recut it and recut it till everybody's happy, and then they release it.
Which seems like the way things are going.
Yeah, we got one time on one of the full episode like we're doing right now. We went and we were doing a movie review for what was the name of that Japanese
Hidden Fortress.
Hidden Fortress. We're doing a video review for the Hidden Fortress. We're playing their trailer while we're talking about it, and we got hit with a copyright block. And I'm like, we're promoting your 30-year-old movie.
Dude, the only time my main channel has ever gotten copy striked is anytime I've used Nintendo music.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo, they're so nice and loving.
I just don't sue me, Nintendo. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say anything bad if you're listening, but yeah, no, they go hard, man. I remember I just had like the Mario 64 Bomb on Battlefield playing in the background, and I got hit with a strike, and I was like, well, that's the last time I use anything like that.
There's channels that purposely avoid any Nintendo content just for that very reason. Like,
Yeah,
I think at GameStack, I think they very rarely will you see a first party Nintendo game featured on GameStack for that very reason.
yeah. Hashtag Power World team, just so you know.
I'm curious now how we actually got around that when I did the mix and mic ticks on the Mario and Luigi game.
I don't think it was that huge of a. Also, didn't you do that where it was like your camera was pointed at your TV screen?
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's what got around that one.
Yeah, it's not good enough for them to worry. Like, number one, what is the copyright strike for? Is me watching this video that somebody put on YouTube going to stop me from wanting to buy this game? No. If anything, it's going to make me want to buy this game. So why are you where? And then to the Nintendo.
Nintendo especially recently has been hitting copyright strike heavy on their music, because I don't know if you knew this, but they just released a kind of like an Apple Music app, but it's all their music, and so they're I think they're like trying to make it scarce everywhere else.
Now, is that only for if you have the expansion pack, or is that for anybody with their online service?
I don't know anything about it. I just know that they released.
It's not very clear. I just signed up for their 7-day trial of the regular online because I wanted to play some old Nintendo games, and the emulator I was using had a bit of a lag on it. I'm like, well, we just play it on the Nintendo, and I download all that, and I see that they have the app, but it's like, well, do I get access to that? Not that I really care, but do I get access to that, or do I have to be an expansion pack customer?
I don't know.
For that extra $30 a year, I mean, what else? I would assume that they come throw it in that. Anyways, we're about 40 minutes in, and we haven't even got to the topic yet.
We have not got to the topic yet. So we should probably get cracking on that one.
Yeah.
So first thing I need to say before we start the topic is remember, be open mind, no candle boxing. And let me explain candle boxing to Chandler and anyone listening. So candle boxing goes back to an episode we had where we were talking about groups we used to be into but couldn't get into anymore. One of the two of us, it was their turn and brought up Wikipedia. Now, this person said that they weren't going to use Candlebox after this all happened, that they just used it to get to another group and made a mistake. But what had happened was they flashed Candlebox. The other person, as not so nice as possible, said, go ahead, say what you're going to say, because I'm just going to counter it. And poor Ben really got raked over the coals. So very
Admits of who is who, and now you okay? Go ahead.
I didn't say that you weren't the one that said it. I didn't say that. Maybe we had a guest that time. Who knows who it was that was very unprofessional and ripped into the person who named Ben who posted it. But yes, that is candle boxing. So no candle boxing allowed. We all have our own opinions.
No candle boxing allowed, Mike. Candlebox favorite band or one of your favorite bands or whatever, and you flipped out over it. Yeah, okay, Mike. Since you're saying I'm involved in this, we'll just make it come out in the clear. If you listen to the show, it's not like this doesn't exist.
I did explain why I exploded, but I shouldn't have exploded. So
it was funny. It wasn't like I wasn't worried for my life or anything.
I have an open mind. I'm wholly cool. Just don't say anything I disagree with. That's all I ask.
We agree with everything that's said. That will be fun.
On that note, the topic tonight is the continuation of games that we should love. Games that seem to check all the right boxes, do everything right, but then you play them and no, it just doesn't click. It just doesn't catch you. You just don't like it. And the whole series, no thank you. With that, I have a shocker on the list, but Ben was to start us off.
Let me just preface this and say,
No, Ben, just say it. Just say it, Ben.
Okay. Final Fantasy.
Good luck. You'll need it.
And I was going to preface it and say that there are 3 games in the series that I do enjoy, but the rest of them I just can't get into. And one of them happens to be Final Fantasy VII that I can't get into. But I like 1, I like 8, and I like 10. And I've almost beat 10. I got pretty far in 8, and as I've said already, I've beaten 1 multiple times. And it's a great game series. It's the one you keep hearing about. Like, Sony paid a bunch of money to hold exclusive rights to it for so many years and all this. And I'm like, and I have it on every single system that I can get Final Fantasy on. And I play it for about 5 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done.
I think Final Fantasy VII was marketed so poorly because you watch the commercials of Final Fantasy VII, because most people at this time didn't know what RPGs were.
Yeah.
And we watch the commercial and you see all of the cinematics. So you go out thinking you're going to get this amazing cinematic action, blow everything up, non-stop roller coaster ride, and then you pop it in, and you get anything but that, basically.
No, I know what an RPG was.
Oh, I know. I know that because you obviously knew Final Fantasy, but I think a lot of people, that's what may have happened to them, because I've heard that like Final Fantasy VII was the most purchased game on PlayStation, and also the most return game on PlayStation.
That's that comes down to what my old district manager at GameStop used to call the San Andreas effect, because they've never seen this before in retail. The more you sell, if you do trade-ins, the more you're going to get traded in. It happens with Madden every year. I don't know why they don't call it the Madden rule, but
I remember that trailer. In a world where the world is on the brink of destruction. It's just all the cinematics. Yeah, I totally remember that.
Final Fantasy VIII, I love the soundtrack. I could sit there and listen to that Final Fantasy VIII. I had the orchestrated soundtrack on CD, and I could listen to it over and over and over again. And the artwork's great, and I just really, like, people hate Final Fantasy VIII, and I'm like,
yes,
but I don't. I just like it. I don't know why, but the other ones that everybody seems to love, I'm like, yeah, maybe it's because I like the underdog. I don't know.
Final Fantasy VIII had a great slogan, which is, at least we're not Final Fantasy 15.
They can see the future. They knew.
Exactly.
Final Fantasy VIII had a great slogan. Hey, we didn't program this really well, so you can pretty much just break everything. Have fun.
Was it breakable? I never got that far into just breaking stuff. I was just playing through the story.
I thought the Final Fantasy VIII slogan was, gotta draw them all.
Yeah, right. No, Final Fantasy VIII. So Final Fantasy VIII or 7 came out, incredibly popular, sold well, and they were like, okay, second one, let's go get this going. I wouldn't say I dislike any of the Final Fantasy games, but yeah, they pushed that one out, and I mean, there are just incredible ways to abuse the mechanics in that game. It's insane.
Like the whole thing with drawing spells, and then you got to assign spells to certain stats and all that. Like, it can get really kind of annoying, especially like if you have all your health spells all your healing spells are attached to your health or whatever, and you're getting this really nice boost, but then you have to use one.
Yep.
It's like, oh.
I always said that Final Fantasy VIII worked better on paper and thought than it does in practice.
Now, is there like some kind of, cause Mike, I don't know if you know this, Claude, but like Mike is like a huge board game fanatic. Is there a Final Fantasy VIII board game?
No, I had never even seen a Final Fantasy board game.
Really? Because you would think that some of that stuff would transfer over to like cards and stuff.
But I was going to tell you, I did, and I should have. There was an Assassin's Creed crowdfunding board game recently that I should have let you know about. But there's not many board games. There's not many video games that transition over to board games. It's happening more often now, but there's not a whole lot of them. And it's the point where I was like considering, I should buy Devil May Cry and Mega Man board game. But then I realized, but I don't like Devil May Cry or Mega Man video game.
There is a Final Fantasy trading card game, but yeah, I've never heard of a board game.
Did they ever they had that one game that they had the card game in Final Fantasy VIII? Was it
Try it?
Yeah, has that or a similar version of that kind of game been used in other Final Fantasies?
Yeah, 9 had Tetra Master.
Yeah.
And then I think I feel like there was one other one that had a card mechanic, but
there was a app that was made for Triple Triad, like on mobile. But I'm pretty sure Squaresoft shut it down because Squaresoft is just as loving as Nintendo.
Yeah.
You would think that they would be the ones releasing this, though. It's like you're missing this whole thing where, like, it's a pretty decent card game. In fact, one of my favorite parts of Final Fantasy VIII was sitting there playing the card game. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why isn't this a game where you can buy decks and play Magic the Gathering the hell out of this? You know,
Wow, it would be cool.
Yeah.
and they missed a boat on this. The one company that would the one company that would do all this is Nintendo. Nintendo would merchandise the living crap out of Final Fantasy if they own the rights to it.
Yeah.
You would see all these board games. You would see. I mean, I know they do figurines, but you'd see more figurines. You see all this stuff, but they don't do that over Square Enix apparently. There's a fantasy store in downtown New York. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we'll see once the company switches hands. You know, you never know.
Oh, is Square Enix up for sale?
No, just leadership switching out and stuff. I mean, like all those guys are getting old.
Yeah,
Hey, it's in the game.
yeah, EA is gonna buy them out, and then you'll they'll release a new Final Fantasy game every year, and it'll be worse and worse and worse and worse.
They'll release the first part. The rest is DLC that you
Yep.
later on.
Every couple months you'll get like another part of it, and it'll cost you another full $60, $70, $80. They'll get it that. It's like, so Final Fantasy. Don't you want to play Final Fantasy? Come on, play it. You're missing out. It's great.
So Final Fantasy VII is your everyone likes it, but it never clicked with me.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I tried to. I have, like I said, I have a copy of it. I can play it right now, but I'm like, I think it's because they go in with these huge expectations, but everybody talked about how great of a game it is.
I think there's two ways to actually play Final Fantasy VII for it to work. And if you don't do it these two ways, it's not going to work. Because, I mean, I was one of those that I viewed Final Fantasy VII as mediocre. Because you either play through it fast for the story, or you invest a whole chunk of time to do all of this stuff to make your guys overpowered. I think anything in the middle, it's not as good, because you have the situation where it's three people. They're not any sort of classes. They're just, people, and you have to build them however you want. And so you don't have those strengths, you don't have those weaknesses that some sort of class would have. So I don't think that, I don't like that type of style. I want to know this person's a warrior, this person's a black mage, because then I know what they're going to excel at and what I need to do to deal with the fact that they're going to have problems in these other areas. So, and also it was you dropped it down to 3 people in the party rather than 4.
And how about like these games like in 8 and 10, and they probably do this in other Final Fantasies too, where you get a character, you work on them, you build them up, and then something happens where, like in Final Fantasy X, Yuna disappears for a good chunk of the game.
Yep.
I have no white mage.
Yep.
I'm freaking the hell out because I do not have my white mage, and I'm like, now I gotta go buy supplies, which I didn't have to do before. Because I don't know my white mage, damn it.
And then you get them back, and then they're still on level 20, and your other characters are on level 4.
Yes.
It's like, you know what, you're dead for me. Don't even come back.
I can't even use her in my I feel bad using her in my party because I'm like, well, she's not gonna be able to defend herself. What the hell am I supposed to do? I still have to use my supplies.
I could be wrong. What do I know? But I hear that happens in Final Fantasy VII, but that's just a rumor.
Oh, I know what happens in 8 too. Like you'll have it at one point where even like one of the bad guys from the story is like in your party, and you're working on building him up.
How about 6? You get the World of Ruin. You happen to save Shadow as well too, and you wake up with just one character.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy VII, there's literally a character that halfway through the game drops off the map, and you never get her back.
Oh,
and there's no like signs. There's nothing telling you like, hey, by the way, this is a temporary character. Like she has all the builds of all the other characters, and it very popular. I'm not gonna spoil it because I don't know.
Stabby.
Yeah, but very, very popular twist in video game history. And
I've never beaten Final Fantasy VII, and I think I know which twist you're talking about. But I'm going. 3 people who we'll let them not know.
We'll leave it at that, though.
Well, there is they have found there is an actual way to get that specific character back using Yuffie warping
Yeah,
to where you can keep them for the rest of the game.
yeah.
You ever play Fable 2?
I've played Fable 1. I've not played Fable 2.
Okay, well in Fable 2 you get a dog. And I don't know if you're a dog owner or not, but I am a dog owner. And even though he's a virtual dog, he's very helpful and you end up
He's good.
becoming very fond of the dog. They kill him at the end of the game.
Yes.
And at the end of the game, though, right before you get to the end of the game, and at the end of the game, they give you a wish, and one of the wishes is to bring your dog back. You could save the world or do something else, or you can get your dog back. And you sit there, and even though you know you should not be saying, "Give me my dog back," it does cross your mind that maybe I should just say, "Give me my dog back," and say, "Screw these people."
Dude, that's that. Like I said, only one right answer there.
Yeah. Luckily, in the expansion pack, you could actually just get your dog back anyways, and you can still make the right decision. So, but all right. So that was my talk about Final Fantasy.
Chandler, you're up.
Is it me? Okay. Well, I have a whole list of. I'm not sure how many we want to go through, but I think I'll start with. Let's get the Band-Aid off right now. I played through and beat this game, and I am to this day amazed at how many people still talk about it, that it's a good game. It's Mario 64. I cannot believe how. Oh my gosh! Just how that game broke me. I never played it on the N64, so I didn't grow up with it. And then if you guys remember, for the Switch, the Mario 3D collection came out, and I played through all three of those games with my son. It was an absolute grind. Mario Sunshine, in my opinion, is a little bit better, but it's still not amazing. But Mario 64, I wanted to throw my Switch out the window. I cannot believe how, I was thinking I was going to have like an Ocarina of Time experience. I was like, this game is going to change my life. Everyone loves this game. And I got done with it and I said, oh my gosh, if this was made today, no one would like it. That's my take.
Well, going to 3D. I think that every single game that goes from 2D to 3D, apart from one, and you can candlebox me on this one, apart from one, has failed miserably. And that one that actually did well was absolutely hated by everybody because most people didn't sit and play it, and which was Castlevania when it went to the N64. I thought that one did a really good job because that also has a broken character, which is now going to be entry number 103 unofficially on your list.
Noted. Very noted. I
say that Mario 64, I do not want anyone listening to think that I do not appreciate it for what it did. Broke into the 3D space, pretty much single-handedly showed everyone how to make 2D games into 3D games. I can appreciate it all. My goodness, is it not a fun game to play?
It's got a lot of issues to it. It's a very early version of that Nintendo 3D engine, which shows up in Ocarina of Time. It shows up again in Majora's Mask, and then finally the final version is in Donkey Kong 64. And it got better as it went on, but yeah, Mario 64 had all kinds of issues, camera issues. Like you're screaming at the TV because you can't see what the heck you're trying to do.
That's the problem with 3D.
Your TikTok clock, I'll just say this, the level TikTok clock can go straight to hell. Oh my gosh.
I had it for Nintendo 64. So I had a bad experience with the Sega Saturn, and it turned me off to CD gaming when it first came out. So I didn't buy the Sony PlayStation. I kind of wish I did now, but I ended up buying a Nintendo 64. And I got Mario 64 with it, and I was like, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this before. I love it. How come I can't see what I'm doing? How come I can't see what I'm doing? I can't see what I'm
Didn't go that way. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I'm gonna be
This damn thing. What the hell, man?
I'm gonna be honest here. As far as Mario 64 goes, I got into the castle. Like the first time you get into the castle.
Yeah.
And I was like, fudge this. I'm going back to Super Mario World again. Because
It peaks at Bomb Battlefield, the very first level. I think it was developed it was done pretty well. It's a nice open world. And it just oh gosh, it just gets worse from there.
It's one of those games. If we ever do an episode of like games that I should have beaten but never did because of the amount of time I've thrown into it, Mario 64 would make that list because I've played it to about 60 stars multiple times, or not 60 stars, like 40 stars multiple times, but you need 60 to beat it. So I always get like 2/3 through beating the game and not even doing the whole game. And it's because probably I agree with what you probably have issues with, Claude, where it's like it's a bit of a chore to play after a while. This
I'm
fun at first, but then it's like, yeah, like I said, the camera or the controls don't work the way you want to, or something. And it
well, I got a major problem because I do not start games. I'm very careful about what games I start because I have to beat them. I'm like neurotic about it, and so like I get locked into some really terrible games that I just have to play through, and that was an absolute grind. My son loved every second of it, and I was just punching myself in the face.
Yeah, I take it that you're a bit younger than me and Mike are because you were playing Super Nintendo at 8 years old, and I think I was 12 when that came out.
I'm 35.
You're 35. Okay, well, you're 10 years younger than me, and Mike, I think you're like 2.
I was in high school playing Super NES.
Yeah, exactly. But like back in the day, it's like, when you first see some of these games, it's like mind blowing. But then you play Majora's Mask where they refine the engine and they did such a great refinement to it. It's almost impossible. Like if I were to tell somebody that these are not the same game engines, you'd probably be like, oh, of course they're not, but they are. They're the same game engine. It's like, it's just Nintendo got better and better with it. And it's like, if they would just re-release Super Mario 64, but build it on what became the Donkey Kong 64 engine. And
It's
just
probably better.
Oh yeah.
Majora's Mask is in my top 10 favorite games of all time. So like I'm not like a old N64 3D game snob or anything. It really took me by surprise.
Oh yeah, Majora's Mask is awesome. Like just the whole complexity of it, the whole 3-day cycle, and it's like I know they re-released it for 3DS and I played it on that, but I'm like, I wish it was one of those games like I wish they came out with for Wii U or now for the Switch. Like we could play it on the virtual console. Yeah, I could play the old version. There's been so many improvements over the years. Like I'm not saying to use like the Breath of the Wild engine, which Mike, you know how much I love Breath of the Wild. He told me to shut up about it one time. And stop talking about it.
I had to go through the desert and I had to wear women's clothing just to get through. Yeah. And here's the thing. Here's what you don't know is that if I didn't beat Legend of Zelda series down enough getting to this episode, it would have been included in this episode.
Yeah, Mike said that the only good Legend of Zelda is the first one.
That's the only good one that there is the very first game. All the rest, just I don't even want to play them really.
I have 300 hours in Breath of the Wild and 300 hours in Tears of the Kingdom, and I absolutely love them and would play. I wish I could have them removed from my memory so I could experience them again for the first time. And he hates them.
Yeah, I've beaten almost every single one, and I had my favorite time was with Twilight Princess.
Really?
Which version though? Is you talking GameCube or Wii?
I beat it on the GameCube. I bought it when it first came out and played on the GameCube and beat it, and I loved it. I replayed the Wii U version later on, and I mean it's a slow game. I'm not saying it's perfect, but out of all of them, that's one I enjoyed the most. With a close second being Breath of the Wild. I really enjoyed that game.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is awesome. I always tell people too, like if you want to play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you have to play them in order. Because once you play Tears of the Kingdom, you're not going to want to go back to Breath of the Wild.
No, it's a downgrade.
Yeah, you are not gonna want to go back. But Tears of the Kingdom is like they're both great games, but Tears of the Kingdom is a better. Like there's so much more to do. The underworld, everything. Like, oh, I want to go play it right now. You know, it's like it's so good. Did you guys? Did you buy a Switch too?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, me too.
I got it. I got it for the Bravely Default remaster. As soon as that was announced, I was like, that's it. Switch to my house now. So
I signed up for online to be on their waiting list, and I didn't expect for them to get in contact with me, and they did, and I'm like, oh yeah, Warley, but they're gonna be hard to find, and now their prices have gone up, so I'm actually glad that I did buy it. But I was like, you know, 'cause there's nothing on it that I'm playing that I couldn't play on a Switch. One,
yeah, no, they definitely. I would not say it's worth buying right now, but you know, wait, for me, like I'm day one with this stuff.
well, I'm also like super geeky. Like I literally have a PlayStation 5 I never use, but I could say, well, I have a PlayStation 5.
I'm sitting in a room with pretty much every single console ever made. So
Nice. I don't have the room. I would if I had the room. I would have like.
Here goes the big quiz. So does that include the N gauge?
no. I almost every because I would love to like go back and get some of these retro consoles, especially some of the niche ones.
Bro, I had an XI
Whoa.
and I sold it because I needed money. And then I was so beat up after I sold it because I sold it for less money than I bought it for. And I was like, why did I sell that?
Well, hot tip. This is the time to do it. The retro market's starting to dip down after the COVID spike and all that. And so it's funny you talk about Sega Saturn. Like my dream would be to have a Sega Saturn with all its game library. That would be that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, Mike, you're a fan of the Sega Saturn. We played that when I went to your house the first time.
Yeah. There's Sega Saturn is great for two things: for fighting games and top-down shooters.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's good when a system has like a niche.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm one of those people that I want to mod my systems to the point where I don't ever have to actually put a disc in it. So like I've got I took out the optical drive in my Dreamcast and put in a hard drive into it. The Sega Saturn has a device in the back that loads everything off SD cards. PlayStation 2 has a hard drive in it as well too. As well as my Wii. That's just for me, that's the way to go because then I can just be super lazy, turn it on, and my whole library's there.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
All right. So I believe it's my turn now.
yes, sir.
Okay, here comes a big shocker. If you know me, and you know how much I love one-on-one fighters, the Capcom Versus series, pretty much all of them, except for I do like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I do like Street Fighter Cross Tekken for a couple weird reasons. But Capcom versus SNK, Marvel vs. Capcom, Capcom versus Garbage Pail Kids, whatever it is, I don't like it, and I think I know why. Is because it's a great idea. Give me Capcom, give me SNK. I love both of them. But then I look at the roster, and I'm one of those people that I'm playing characters that nobody really uses or really knows about. But when you get onto these, you have vanilla. It's like, okay, I know Ryu's going to be in it. Okay, I know M. Bison's going to be in it. Okay, I know it's going to have Terry Bogard, which actually I like Terry Bogard, but that's beside the point. It's just the most bland characters that are in these that they're not characters I want to use.
Well, you guys think a lot of it's got to be political too. You see, like you're doing Capcom versus SNK. You got to get these executives from Capcom and SNK to agree on what the game is going to be. You can't have somebody be too overpowering, and my guy has to have this, and that guy has to do this, and da 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 da. I mean, So I'm sure the politics probably led into the blandness, as you say, of some of the characters because, you know, you finally get to the point where like, well, why am I going to throw all my best stuff in this when this guy over on the other side of the table is being a jerk about everything I propose?
Well, I think that like if you do Marvel versus Capcom, don't do a roster of 20 Capcom and 20 Marvel. Do a roster of 200 Capcom and 200 Marvel because that's how much there is. I think the thing is also what's ruined this is Mugen. Is because Mugen is like the RPG maker of one-on-one fighters. It's just a game engine where you can insert your own characters into it. And the idea was to have people create fighting characters that you could add to your list. Well, what happened was people started getting the sprites of actual characters and started creating them. So it's like I can just play that and I have the whole roster of like every one of these fighting games in it. So why do I need one that's going to be sure it's the official one, but it's a butchered list?
The
Good.
Mugen. Oh, good.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the Mugen Twitch stream is fantastic to watch. Like some of the characters you see out there, like what is this?
I mean, I could open my Mugen right now and do a 2-on-2 of like Ryu and Scorpion versus Optimus Prime and Ronald McDonald.
Right. My favorite's that tank with the skull head on it. I forget. Like,
oh yeah, and that's from. I think that's from some sort of a fighting game. I don't remember what though.
Insane. Let me ask you this: why is Marvel versus Capcom 2 not on that list?
It's a good question. That I think it's because of the overall floatiness feeling of it. That it doesn't feel like it's so refined that it just feels open to where it can just be utter chaos. And I kind of like it on that one. And also, it's got a pretty good size roster. I think it's 56 characters.
Yeah.
And I've already formed my team on it, and I'm really happy with my team on it. So I totally enjoy playing that one.
Well, that's fun because it's the reason I asked is that aside from like the Super Smash Bros. Games, I think Marvel vs. Capcom is one of my favorites.
Which the first one?
Favorite Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like one of my favorite fighters. Sorry, I meant to say that.
Okay. I gotta ask, who do you use in Marvel vs. Capcom? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I'm not good at it, so still, I'm not like a meta player or anything. Just so you know. But let's see, Marvel vs. Capcom. I'm like a huge fan of ninjas, so it's the writer. I love Tronbon just because I love the Mega Man Legends series. And then who's the Marvel psychic lady with the leotard? I forget her name.
Psylocke?
Psylocke.
Okay. See, and that's one interesting thing about the game is you have a completely different team than I would use. I've used the characters that you have, but I don't really. They're good.
Yeah,
they do me. And that's the thing I love about a lot of the fighting games, especially from Capcom, is they find characters that fit the player well. So for my team, I usually use Hayato, Cable, and Ruby Heart.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like purely aesthetic when it comes to this stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool looking. I'll just do that. It's like when it comes to fighting games, at least, I'm. Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles, one of my favorite games. I'll just be a Shulk player for the rest of my life in Super Smash Bros.
Well, while you guys were talking, I got confirmation that somebody is listening to us because I checked my Instagram real quick, and there's an ad here for Resident Evil, the card game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm like, okay. We weren't just talking about something similar to that.
So I wanted to add with Street Fighter Cross Tekken, I hate Tekken, actually. Well, I don't want to say I hate Tekken. I dislike Tekken tremendously, which is close enough. I think Tekken's one of those that's more fun to watch than it is to actually play. But with Street Fighter Cross Tekken, two things I like about it. One is it actually does bring in characters that I would use because it feels a lot more random. I was always a big Rolento fan in Alpha, and always, and the main character I used in Street Fighter 3 always was Elena. Both of them are in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. The other reason is kind of weird. It's because I probably have about, I don't know, 7 or 8 hours logged on the Steam Deck for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. About 75% of that time is actually me trying to get the game to run on the Steam Deck because it's not made to do so. So it's kind of like the accomplishment that I did. I got it going.
I love the Steam Deck. You watch all your words, okay?
Oh, yeah. Steam Deck is fantastic. If you saw my Steam Deck setup, I have okay. All right, so here we go. Here's the quiz, and I bet you're gonna be the one that's gonna get this.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So I have attached to my Steam Deck, I have a 1 terabyte card inside of it. I have a then attached through USB, I have a 1 terabyte SD. I have a 1 terabyte SD. And then I have another 1 terabyte SD and I think it's just a 64 gig SD. Then I have external drives. I have a 2 terabyte drive, a 4 terabyte drive, a 2 terabyte drive, and a 4 terabyte drive, all hooked up to my Steam Deck. They all have specific names to them. Let's see how quick you can get what they're referencing. So,
is it? Oh, good.
so the first one is named Blackjack. And it's all they're all the same. They're all one thing. First one is Blackjack. You want to take a guess?
First hard drive is Blackjack.
Yeah. If not, I'll keep going to the next one.
You keep on rolling. I'll see if I catch.
Next one is Invincible.
All right.
So I keep going.
Keep on rolling.
Next is Nautilus.
Oh. Are we talking about the ships from Final Fantasy?
3 of them. It only took 3 for him to get it right.
I never even got it right. He listed all of them to me.
Yeah, I've done that with everybody. No one's ever got it until at least the last one. So then, just to go over the next names. Next one, we're getting external drives: Falcon, Fahrenheit, Enterprise, Dreadnought. Then I have the other SD card, which is Shira, and then my Steam Deck name is Big Whale.
So you don't have a high wind?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I do have a 1 terabyte external drive that's running Windows. That is Highwind. My mistake. I have so much stuff hooked up to it. I forgot about that one.
Well, I'm proud of myself. Like I'm impressed with myself. That I guess I can call myself a Final Fantasy fan now.
There you go. And also, I've been tossing around the idea of changing the because my 1 terabyte drive or SD card that's hooked directly into my Steam Deck is just primary. I've been contemplating changing its name to Hovercraft, but then the problem is that the Steam Deck looks like Big Whale or Lunar Whale, but it didn't pick up the Hovercraft, the Enterprise did. So that's kind of confusing.
Fair.
So
I like that. I like the naming convention.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, what's nice, the Steam Deck is portable, so are the airships. They go around wherever.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Would you take when you go on vacation next, Mike? Are you going to take that whole setup with you?
Yes.
I'm not surprised you would. I said
Like giant cargo shorts with like just to the brim with data.
I know it's I got it pretty streamlined because I have it's a nice size case for the Steam Deck. It's not super big. It's probably about 1 1/4 times the size of like the Steam Deck case that you get with the Steam Deck. and I can get the SD cards into that, and then I have a little bag that has just those little SanDisk Extreme external drive holders. I have 2 of those. I can get all 5 of the external drives into 2 of those. So, and I just have a small keyboard, portable keyboard, and a controller, and that's it.
So imagine that Mike's on vacation and he's poolside and he has all this there. All these little-
So that's different. I wouldn't have all these cords running. This is something I'd like hook into a TV because I also have an HDMI cable on there.
Funny, though.
He's just doing as God intended, okay? Like some of us just know the master plan, okay?
He's got a Luzzy in one hand, a game controller in the other.
You know me with modding systems. I gotta have like every system on the one system that I'm holding so that I have all the options possible.
I'm the same exact way.
When I went to go visit Mike for the first time, I get off the plane and we're driving to his house, and all of a sudden he just throws like an N-Gage in my face with Sonic the Hedgehog playing on it. He's like, "Here you go, now you can play it." And I mentioned I never played an N-Gage before,
Let alone Sonic. Awesome.
Yeah. So is it my turn?
Yep, it's back to you.
It's funny you talked about Mario 64 because I'm going to talk about all the Super Smash Brothers for one of them, but all these other sub Mario series, other than like Mario Kart, I never really got into any of them. Like you got Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Mario Baseball, Mario Runs for President, and all these Mario things. And
What about Mario's Missing? Does that count?
Mario was missing. Well, yeah, is that the one where they do the history lesson or something?
I think so.
Yeah, Mario through history. Yeah, where in the world is Mario San Diego? And I just people were like, but Smash Brothers is the one like everybody's into, and I'm like, I cannot get into it. And I played it one time, and I'm like, yeah, I think like I'm just after Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2, I'm kind of just done with fighting games.
Bro, I will tell you why you cannot get into it. It's very easy. You don't use Princess Peach.
Oh, that's your girl.
That's 100%. I don't know if I sent you the picture when I played it recently. It's like I beat the computer or something, and I took 41% of damage total, and I'm like, I'm feeling a little rusty here.
We went to the Coin Up Arcade that we were talking about earlier. I don't know if I got that, if we recorded that or not, but we were talking about this Coin Up Arcade. And the last time I was there, and me and Mike played the Mario Kart arcade game.
Yep.
And Mike, I played every character in the game, but Mike was Princess Peach for every single race. And we played through every track. I played, like I said, I had every character other than Princess Peach, and he only played Princess Peach.
Wow. I just did a Google search, and it looks like Mike's right. The only reason you didn't enjoy it is because you didn't use Peach. So
It's on the internet. It's true.
back confirmed.
You know, Abraham Lincoln once said that everything you hear on the internet is true. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so I fell in love with Princess Peach back on Super Mario Brothers 2, the Doki Doki Panic version because of her levitation. And then when I played Super Smash Brothers Melee, and I noticed that her levitation prevents her from pretty much ever getting knocked off. That's where it's like, this is the only character I really ever need to use. And I had a buddy who he and I used to play that game all the time versus the computer. I'd use Peach. He's used Zelda because Zelda can teleport, and we would just never get knocked off.
Sounds like love at first sight. In my opinion, one of the most underrated like video or Mario side series is, I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. It's called Fortune Street. You guys familiar?
no.
So Fortune Street is the series that only one title has come over to the States. And it was a Wii title, but it's a party game similar to like Mario Party, but it's like built around like investments in property. Like this thing sounds like a fever dream, by the way. It's like a very investment, like you're investing in stock and trades and all these different, like it's crazy. but they're always it's always Mario mixed with another series. So like there was one on I think it was the DS that was Final Fantasy and Mario combined. This one, Fortune Street on the Wii, is the Dragon Quest series and Mario combined.
And you're doing stocks, you said?
You're doing stocks. So like
It's the me, Mario.
like, you can be Slime from the iconic slime character from Dragon Quest. You know, and Mike can be Princess Peach, and you guys can be
This.
I mean, it's fantastic. Like it's like my go-to party game. But the thing is that like you can't pause, like you can't say like do like a save state or anything in it, and they last the match lasts like 3 hours. Like it is like the most intense party game you ever played in your life. But it's fantastic. Highly recommend it.
I'm sure the Dolphin could do a save state on it.
Oh yeah. No, if you emulate it, and that's the other thing too. Oh, sorry, the Final Fantasy one I believe is on the PS2, and there was actually a fan translation, so you can go and pick that up and play it. But yeah, if you guys ever want to play a just complete fever dream of a party game, Fortune Street series is fantastic.
Fortune Street. Okay. That sounds crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when we bought it and played it for the first time.
Wait, so the one that's on PlayStation 2, you said?
The one on PlayStation 2 is a Final Fantasy and Mario combo.
How can they do Mario though?
Okay, let me look at this because I don't want to tell you guys something that's false here, but
Because if it's on PlayStation 2, that's a Sony console, and Nintendo is insanely.
you're right. So I probably have a fact wrong here. Let me see this.
In fact, I was watching some gaming news before this afternoon, and what it looks like to me is that the war between Xbox and PlayStation is done. Sony and Nintendo are slowly turning their guns on each other. They're doing very minor things that are competitive type of things that companies do, and somebody catching in on it. And that was what the video was about, how Nintendo is now, it's now Nintendo versus Sony.
And okay, I have this backwards, and I apologize. It's a Square Enix title. Where they combine with stuff. So the one on PlayStation 2 was a Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest combo. The one on the Wii is a Mario Dragon Quest combo.
Okay.
So I had that backwards. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because at one point Nintendo published Dragon Warrior, which was the US version of Dragon Quest. So there is some tie in, like.
Well, and Dragon Quest ended up coming out for the remake of Dragon Quest 8 came out on 3DS, so they must have had some kind of agreement at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy when you when you learn the history of some of these titles and like how these companies who like now are like mortal enemies used to work together or something like that. Like right now, I just talk about like Sony versus Nintendo is now going to be the new big console war that's going to happen, and like. Sony made the sound chip from the Super Nintendo. In fact, there wouldn't be a PlayStation if it wasn't for Nintendo screwing them over.
Yep.
So it is.
Which is also goes back to Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. And it never got released on Super Nintendo because the Super Nintendo on Nintendo 64 because the 64 couldn't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The game that broke that relationship.
Yeah, imagine though, like if the Nintendo PlayStation did come out, like what the whole different thing it would be right now. Probably maybe would Sega still be doing hardware, or would another company have come around? Who knows,
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Tesla to drop their console.
Are they working on one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. So I could see Elon Musk being like, "Oh, that gaming stuff. Let's jump into that."
Well, it's like when the PlayStation came out, I used to think like, what does Sony know about video games?
True. Yeah.
And here we are, how many years later, and they're like the name. It's like,
and same thing with me is what does Microsoft know about video game consoles? And I Oh, wait, hold on. I should probably. I was taught if I don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Well, here you are, like here you are, Mike. It's like how many 4 generations later, and Microsoft kind of just threw in the towel and just said, "Okay, we're just going to be a service company now." When like Forza, well, you can play Forza on PlayStation now, and I'm like, "Oh, when's okay? You got Forza on PlayStation and Gears of War on PlayStation. Tell me, Microsoft, when is Halo coming out on PlayStation?" And
I think, yeah, I think realistically, when you have two consoles going up against each other, that's when things work out. But when you have three consoles, it really gets too crowded. And I'm really hoping that we get to the point where we're at two consoles and is Nintendo versus PC. And that's basically it.
well, that's what it's going to end up being because all the console exclusives are on PC anyway.
Yeah.
That's essentially because Nintendo, like I said, if you want to play Nintendo, if you want to play Mario, you're playing on a Nintendo system. You're not playing unless you play it illegally. You're playing on a Nintendo system. You know where, and as long as they hold on to that, they're going to make it. But as soon as they go and say, "Well, you know, Sony's throwing a lot of money at us, maybe we should," well, then you're going to lose.
Yeah.
The
All right,
Go ahead. Go.
All right, go ahead.
No, please. We can move on.
Okay, I was gonna say we're at an hour and a half now. And Ben's the only person that's gotten 2 out, so we gotta start rapid firing these ones.
All right,
So, Chandler, you're up.
Okay, sounds good. I'm just gonna read down my list here. Okay.
Okay.
So the Tales RPG series. People love the Tales series. They and I do not want to, crap on any of the fans. They're obviously really good games. I cannot get myself to enjoy them. I don't know why. I don't like the storytelling. It's confusing. I think the character designs are fun, but they are like not homogenous, and so it's kind of confusing sometimes when a character steps in. You're like, why does he look like he came out of the '80s and this character's wearing armor? I don't understand. And anyway, and then the combat system, like it's cool that it's like this action battle stuff, but I just cannot get into it. So that's one.
Let me jump in just to say really quick because I listed Tails on the last one for a reason because I'm not big on the RPGs where it has the action battle system, but you have a party and you can't control the other people in your party. You're only controlling basically one character. So Tales, Star Ocean, the new Final Fantasies, Xeno Chronicles, things like that, I can't dig. I don't know. Could that be the same reason for you?
Well, no, because Xenoblade Chronicles is easily one of my favorite games of all time. So
Okay, well then I was
it's really weird. I think it was because I enjoyed the Star Ocean series. So it's like there's something about the Tales series that just has not clicked with me, and I do not know what it is.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so next one is pretty much any 3D Sonic game. Like, I have no idea how this series has managed to continue to pump these out. I play them and I'm like, I do not like these. I don't know. People talk about Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, all the way up to, I didn't play like the newest one that's, Breath of the Wild-ish, but I don't know. They just never did it for me. And maybe it's because I'm such a 2D Sonic snob. I have no idea. But yeah, that's one. And my last two here, Undertale. Do you guys know Undertale?
Yes.
No,
I've
heard of Underdog, but no Undertale.
Undertale is like this internet sensation. It's an indie game made by one guy. That honestly, like a massive achievement, and I don't want to undercut that at all. The music is great. He obviously put a lot of love thought into it. Freaking Matt Pat from Game Theory gave a copy to the Pope. It's extremely popular game. Pretty much broke the internet. And I played it. I'm like, I do not get why so many people are like frothing at the mouth at this game. I do not understand.
I think it's because it's different, and that's really it.
It could be. In my experience, if you want different, the RPG genre is very eclectic. So I still think maybe it's because it bucks all the trends. I have no idea, and it could just be internet hype. Who knows? But that was definitely one for me. My final one, and it sounds like we're fighter fans over here, and I really have to apologize for this. This is completely like lack of experience and lack of nostalgia, and also just lack of awareness of why. I do not understand. I like feel bad saying this. Please don't, please invite me back. Um, I, I do not understand why Street Fighter 2 is so it to this day.
Mike, calm down.
Do I get the box now? I'm ready.
Calm down.
I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry. I knew
Left me far behind.
I just like why are there so many versions of this game? Like why are we releasing this still? I even have the Street Fighter cabinet from like the arcade up.
So the one up. Yep.
The one up series. I have it, and like I play with my son and stuff, and I just am like, okay, yeah, okay.
No, it's
Okay,
fine.
so the nostalgia is a big part of it, and me and Mike have talked about this, where memories of going to the arcade, and you have it where people put their quarters up, and
Mhm.
there's always that one kid who just destroyed everybody.
Yeah.
And where I lived, there was this one, and I swear, this kid was Asian. Okay, I'm not trying to be racist or nothing. It was an Asian kid who beat the living crap out of everybody, and it would be like they had 3 Street Fighter 2 machines in the city, and you never knew which one he would show up at, and you always hoped that you lucked out and found the machine he wasn't going to be at that day. Because once he put his money in the machine, and he was a nice guy, he didn't come up and was a jerk to anybody. He was a nice guy, but once he put his money in the machine, he's never leaving it, and he's never putting more money in.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I did not experience the arcade renaissance, so I totally admit it has nothing to do with the quality of the game. It's just something that is just completely over my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that Street Fighter has at this point isn't doing as well as it used to, but I think when you get to like Alpha and when you get to 3, it really locks in on trying to cater to the play styles of different people so that you can find those characters that fit how you play. I think that's when the series really did the best. So
I just thought of a story. I think this is a story of yours of you were playing somebody in a Street Fighter arcade machine and their friend pulled you away from the machine before you won.
no, that was my buddy who's really good, and that's why I'll never play anybody. I always play the computers because he was yanked away during the match to try to make him lose. So, and yeah, that would be the extreme though. Most people are really cool with each other.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that Street Fighter is probably the most mental exercise. How do you say this? Mentally exercising game that I've ever played because I'm constantly thinking. That's the way I play it. I'm not one of those. I just know my combos and boom, 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 and just boom, boom. I'm constantly thinking because I'm more of a zoner. Where am I going to put this person at this position? What is their character capable of doing? What is this person most likely going to do at this point, knowing their character? How can I keep them to where I want them to be the whole time? That's kind of how I play. So it's a very mental game to me rather than just pressing buttons.
Mm.
No, I believe you.
All right, so I should probably shoot down my list then,
Okay.
which I'm happy to mention the very first one on my list. Hearing the things you guys said, so I'm gonna start the series that I want to start out with here is a series that should, as far as going in the trash, it's got to go fast. Sonic, I cannot stand Sonic, except I do like Sonic Adventure.
Oh, what a twist!
But it fits.
So every other Sonic game I don't like because it's pretty much just press a button now and then and watch your character run and pick up a ring so you don't die. The rest on my list, Duke Nukem games, love Doom, hate Duke Nukem, Call of Duty, The more games like Doom I like it, the more it's like Call of Duty and realistic I don't. Oh, this one's going to be a fun one. I really wish I would have got this one out earlier. The game with where you can get 102 characters in your party, the Suikoden series.
I love
It-
Suikoden.
Oh man, it feels like it tries to jam pack as many characters in as possible, and then the rest is lacking to me.
Is it like when we were watching when we did Independence Day Resurgence, where they introduced like 1 million characters in the first half an hour, but there was no story whatsoever?
Yes,
Yeah.
if you ever played Chrono Cross, think of all the people you can get in your party and multiply that by like 70.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. Take that stuff, stick it in a syringe, and put it straight in my veins, man. Like I'm all day long, all day long. I was like a day one investor in Uden Chronicles. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but Uden Chronicles was oh my gosh, what's the site where you fund stuff? Oh,
fun. Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. Sorry, it was a Kickstarter, and it was the creators of Suikoden who were like, "We want to make another game. We need money." And I was like, "You want my firstborn? Like here, like you like."
It was funny. You, unlike me and Mike, you actually have a firstborn to offer.
All right, I got a few more.
Not anymore. It was really expensive. I had to fund it, so I don't have a firstborn anymore. But I have the game.
All right, so I got a few more. You probably Ben. You probably see this one coming already. Silent Hill should have stopped after the first game. Siphon Filter, because Metal Gear Solid is not bad enough. We have to go with Siphon Filter. Parappa
Oh,
and oh boy, Fatal Frames. I don't understand why they're popular, even though I do love Dreadout, which is the Fatal Frame knockoff, but an actual Fatal Frame game, it just runs too slow, I think, is a problem. And while I'm here, I might as well mention my shocker from last episode, just to get Chandler's opinion. As we all know, my favorite game of all time is Persona. I cannot stand the SMT series.
oh, okay. No, I don't know if that's too much of a hot take. I think there's actually probably more Persona fans than there are SMT fans.
Well, here's the thing: is that I lived my life by SMT games. Wait, once I picked up Persona 1 on PlayStation, when I got to Persona 3 is when everything started to kind of go downhill. And I couldn't play them, and I haven't put much time into each one. And it finally took until recently for me to figure out why, is because they are adult Pokemon games. And I don't like Pokemon.
So we should say grown-up Pokemon games, because when you say adult anything, it just like implies.
Well, if you've seen some of the characters in SMP, that is pretty much adult.
Gotta squeeze them all.
What? So what? So just so I get it straight, so you do like the entire Persona series,
No,
or you just like the first
Nope.
two?
I like the first two, and that's it. And I absolutely 100% love the first one. The depth is out of any RPG's league.
Yeah.
Two, I noticed it started watering down the way that you contract and generate persona. 3 was just, I hate social links. I don't want to go to the ice cream parlor with Jane and talk about how she thinks her hair is cute this day. I would rather be a grinder and go kill things over and over again. But then I have my party that's like, oh, I'm too tired because I played basketball today. Bro, we're saving the world.
Yeah.
I've got to do this.
You know that Suikoden IV in my arm? Just the vein right next to it. Just take that Persona social link and right inside there.
Okay.
Love it.
So do you count personas as characters for the broken character list?
I stuck to the in the top 100 list, I just said the main protagonist just because in pretty much every
Oh.
one and two, like it isn't strictly the protagonist. Everyone can kind of become broken, but yeah, I didn't dive into just like it, which is dumb because I did dive into like individual Pokemon, so I guess I could have talked about Satan or like any of those characters in SMT that you can get.
Oh, dude, I could top anything off of the first Persona with a Persona. I don't know what the translated name is, because I don't play the PSP version because the translation is different than the PlayStation version, even though the PlayStation version is the bad translation.
Yeah.
But there's a Persona that's level 76 called Borax, who has a spell called Glass Wall. When you cast that, anything that's thrown at your party will reflect back at the enemy for 3 turns. Now, you can drop all of your points into agility on your main character, and that guarantees he'll pretty much go first every turn. So all you have to do is a first turn cast Glass Wall, and then every other turn just keep casting Glass Wall. Nothing will ever hit you.
I'm gonna have to look into that. That sounds insane.
You can also do that with the level 53 personas, 52 or 53 succubus that has magic wall that will basically protect you from all magic. And you can take that up against Pandora, the last enemy on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same thing, 99 agility on your main character. He'll pretty much go first. Physical attacks don't really kill you in the game. Magic's going to destroy you, but you just prevented any magic from hitting your characters doing that.
That sounds awesome. I'm definitely gonna have to look into that.
So yeah, I kind of broke for fun.
I'm gonna have to consult you. Maybe like I'll be sending some emails and getting the deets on some of this stuff because you have quite the well of knowledge here.
I think I'm kind of selective though with my RPGs, so you're probably either get a good answer or you need oh yeah, I can't stand that game.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Ben, do you have a list at all that you didn't cover?
Not really. You kind of covered a lot of stuff. You guys could cover some of the stuff I was going to cover, like the 3D Sonic games I never really got into. I do like the 2D Sonic games, so screw you, Mike. Man.
You know what, Ben? I'm sending you to Penis Arrow Peninsula. I wonder if you remember that reference. I wonder if there's an image of Penis Arrow Peninsula online. I'm sure there is.
Penis Arrow Peninsula.
Do you remember that?
I do, but I do think you should explain to the Claude and to anybody else who might be wondering what it is you're talking.
I love Claude.
Just share your screen.
I don't know if I can with this one because this is going to be hard to find. You probably know it, and you probably want to go back to the game because it's Final Fantasy IV reference. If you go onto our page and go into the mix and mic ticks section, I do a mix and mic ticks, which is like tips and tactics for games for Final Fantasy IV. It is in the underworld, right by the dwarf castle. I mentioned as a good place to level up, and I said it's a peninsula that looks like a penis, and Ben said it looks like an arrow to me. So just kind of earned the name Penis Arrow Peninsula.
Penis Arrow Peninsula. It's a great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
I just Googled it. Mike's right again.
What was that? Oh, it's on the internet.
Yeah. Lincoln said it, so we're good.
I'm seeing if there's like a underworld map that. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I think I can get this to share. Let's see if we can all see this. Can everyone see the world map for Final Fantasy IV?
Hold on,
let me see if I can make it bigger. So if you can see my mouse, this right here is known as Penis Arrow Peninsula.
Penis Arrow Peninsula. Take notes, kids.
You heard it here.
Oh boy. And with that, is there anything else we want to talk about? We want to talk about what we're going to do next week. We got movies coming up. Claude, if you want to come back for the movies, we're doing movies next week.
if you have time to watch 6 movies.
I am so uneducated when it comes to movies. I pretty much have just watched the Alien series and the newest and Mad Max Fury Road, and then I just don't watch. Oh, and Blade Runner, and then I don't watch any other movies. So I know like 4 movies.
So for next week, I'll just mention what we're doing actually for the month of October really quick. The month of October, we are doing first Sunday is going to be Heroes in Disguise. These are movies that are actually comics, but not really known to be comics. We did pull a few that are known to be comics, but known as a different medium more. So we're going to be doing Hellboy and Ninja Turtles. Then we're going to do ones that are
Turtles are 2 different movies, not Hellboy and Ninja Turtles. Hellboy,
yes, it's not a crossover.
Turtles. Go ahead.
Then we're going to do a couple that are somewhat known as comics to some people, which are Blade and Kick-Ass. And then 2 movies that pretty much no one knows are actually based off of comics, which is Howard the Duck and Red. So that's going to be.
I actually watched the wrong version of Red, and I watched a movie about a guy whose dog gets killed. It's actually really good.
We'll review that one down the line when we do movie mistakes.
Well, that one I would say, if we do this version of Red that I watched from 2008, starring Brian Cox, we should do it with Roadhouse because they have very similar plots. They handle it differently, but the same idea of rich guy screwing over the small guy.
And I've never seen Roadhouse, so maybe we will do that.
Yeah, Roadhouse is awesome. You ever seen Roadhouse, Flood?
Chandler.
I'm sorry, names, dude.
Like I said, like I do not watch many movies, and I'm embarrassed to say so, but I just do not watch.
Chandler. I mean, I can call him Claude, Chandler, whatever your name is. You over there.
Yeah. So if you hear any other episodes you want to come on, Clayton, then you're welcome to do so. All right. So the following week we're doing Watch Us Die for Heretic and Hexen. We're going to be moving that one up.
That's a Let's Play. We just call it Watch Us Die.
Yeah. So that's a Watch Us Play, but we call it Watch Us Die. We're also doing a Watch Ben Die, so you don't have to. Ben has no idea what he's going to be playing. I'm going to give him the Steam key at that moment, and we'll see what he gets. Then for the night, Sunday the 19th, we are doing horror games, the good, the bad, the not so scary. And then ending the month of October with a couple of movie reviews, a couple Halloween movies that we're selecting. We don't know what the other person will be picking. We won't know until the week before.
Yeah. And I finally decided which one we're going to do for what my pick's going to be. I think you're going to like it.
Okay. And then
as far as trying to get like the worst movie for each other, we're actually picking movies that we like. So
yeah. So as far as comfort game goes, because we've been talking about comfort games for a while, there was a executive decision made on comfort games. It will be pushed off. And when I say executive decision, I mean I'm just making this up right now. It's going to be pushed off until it's our last episode ever. So when you hear us do comfort games, you'll know the BM show is no more.
Comfort. Those would be games that you play when you don't know what else to play, and just to make you feel like.
I would definitely jump on for that one. So I guess when the world comes to an end, you guys are doing your last episode. I'll come.
So look forward to having Curtis on our last episode.
Thanks, Matt.
There actually is a Matt on the show.
I think I hear the music starting to come up in the background. I do that post, but
all right, so that's it. So it's time for the last word.
Yeah, man. And you guys so lovingly let me do the last word here. And to my understanding, it's one word.
It was one word. That's all you got.
All right. So little context.
No context. You just gotta throw it out there.
Okay. Felofani.